Boris Basinov was Joseph Stalin's personal secretary from 1923 to 1928. He later served as the secretary of the Soviet Political Bureau, the Politburo. And in his memoirs, which were published in 1980, he tells the story of Stalin telling him something about voting. This is Stalin being quoted by his aide. Stalin said, quote, "I consider it completely unimportant who in the party will vote or how. But what is extremely important is this: who will count the votes and how." Bing. Despite never having to worry about surviving popular elections or really being a fan of democracy, Stalin knew that the trick to subverting a democracy was not in getting your people out to vote. That's a piece of it. But mostly it was in making sure that their votes were counted in a way that made sure that your side wins. You can get 100% of the population voting, but if you can selectively decide which votes to count and which to throw out, you'll win every time. As playwright Tom Stoppard quips in his play Jumpers, it's not the voting that's democracy, it's the counting. So now it appears the Republican Party has picked up on this, and they're preparing for their boldest maneuver yet to ensure the Democrats never again win the White House. How are they going to do this? They want to change the way presidential electoral votes are counted. The plan works like this. Pretty straightforward. Instead of giving all of a state's electoral college votes to the popular winner of that state, which is the way we do it right now. You know, if Obama carries, 10,000, 1,000, 100 more votes in a particular state than Mitt Romney did, he wins that state. Winner take all. Small d democracy. Instead of doing that, what Republicans want to do is they want the electoral college votes in a handful of states that are typically blue statewide but have large red districts inside them. They want them to be doled out based on who won each congressional district. And then the additional 2 votes that each state gets in the Electoral College will go to whoever won the popular vote. So when you do this in states like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Ohio, Michigan, states that were gerrymandered by the Republicans in the 2010 census. So keep in mind, the Constitution specifies that every 10 years, a census will be taken and congressional districts will be redefined based on, and states will gain or lose members of Congress based on their population. So in 2010, the Republicans made sure that the lines were drawn in these states that the Republicans controlled in a way that already gives Republicans an advantage by carving up Democratic strongholds and creating both safe Republican seats and throwing a bone. They'd isolate the Democrats and say, okay, it's a safe Democratic seat. You can have that. But they always made sure there were more safe Republican seats than safe Democratic seats. And that's how the Republicans kept control of the House of Representatives in 2012, despite the fact that House Democrats won 1.5 million more votes nationwide than the House Republicans. Here's an example. Last November, President Obama won the popular vote in Wisconsin. He beat Mitt Romney in a statewide race. And so all 10 of Wisconsin's electoral college votes went to Obama. But under this new Republican plan, he would have only gotten 1 electoral college vote for each congressional district that he won. And since he only won 3 newly gerrymandered districts, he would have only gotten 3 votes. Plus, by winning the entire state, or by having the majority of the votes in the entire state, he would have gotten the 2 that are set aside for the winner of the popular vote. So that's 5. Mitt Romney, keep in mind there's 5 gerrymandered all-Republican districts in Wisconsin. Mitt Romney would have gotten 5 votes too. So under this scenario, instead of Obama getting 10 electoral college votes out of Wisconsin, he would have gotten 5. And instead of Mitt Romney getting 0, he would have gotten 5. And even though Obama carried Wisconsin with a 7-point landslide. He would have walked away from the Badger State with an equal number of electoral college votes as Mitt Romney, 5 each. Now you can see why the Republicans like this idea. With this simple tweak in how electoral college votes are counted, the big win for the president in Wisconsin turns into a tie. In fact, had all the battleground states adopted this new vote counting scheme, Mitt Romney would be our president today, despite losing the popular majority vote in every single battleground state: Ohio, Wisconsin, Florida, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and so forth. And these are the states where they're talking about doing this. The way that the congressional districts in several of the blue states are drawn today means that it would be virtually impossible, because of this gerrymandering, virtually impossible for a Democrat to win the White House ever again. If these blue states that are controlled by Republicans, where the Republican is the governor and the Republican controls the legislature, and therefore they can control the drawing of the legislative districts, the congressional districts, at least until the 2020 census, and maybe the 2040 census. Again, as I said, it's as Stalin said, it's not about who votes. It's about how the votes are counted. Now, as you might imagine, an idea like this is explosive. This is going to hand the White House over to the Republican Party to establish one-party rule, basically, just like they have in the House of Representatives. They lost the House of Representatives in the last election, and yet guess what? They have a majority in the House. But at the local level, they lost it. But because they rigged the game, they're the Republican. John Boehner's the Speaker. Any political party that truly believes in a democracy that reflects the will of the people would never do this. They would never embrace a vote rigging, an election rigging scheme like this. But today's Republicans, they have no shame. This exact idea was first proposed in 2011 by Pennsylvania's Republican Governor Tom Corbett. Again, that's not a governor proposing it, and that is a governor proposing it, not some local crackpot party official. Fortunately, Corbett abandoned it before the election, or else Mitt Romney would have won that state's majority share of electoral college votes, despite losing the state for the popular vote statewide. But after seeing how bad they got shellacked in November, more and more prominent Republicans are voicing their support for this idea. In fact, the idea has not only been revived in Pennsylvania. Wisconsin's governor, Scott Walker, said he supports it. His colleague, Republican Assembly Senator Robin Vos is promising to introduce legislation to make it happen. Ohio's Republican Secretary of State, John Husted, wants to do it. Republican state lawmakers in Michigan want to do it. And now Reince Priebus, the RNC chair, has come out and said that he wants to do it. He's encouraging states to do it. He said, I think that's something a lot of states that have been consistently blue or fully controlled red should be looking at. What all this adds up to is something really simple. Republicans can't win elections. So over the next few years, what are they going to do? They're going to rig the elections. After all, what choice do they have? I mean, they could ditch trickle-down economics, which the American middle class knows is nothing more than a scam. But that would mean throwing aside George W. Bush's base, the billionaires, and we know that's not going to happen. They could stop talking about things like legitimate rape, but then they'd lose the zealots on the right. That's not going to happen. So what do? They rig the elections. It's coming.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
As Paul Revere said, more or less, look out, they're coming. Be aware. Be warned. Spread the word.